you want the business, but at the same time, you may be, whether you're an independent agent or you are an agent that's with a company or something, you're tied to a lot of restrictions. And so sometimes I'm able to send this package to agent A because agent B can't do it, but I can send them the next thing.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast.
What kind of interaction do you have with your insurance agents?
So we've got some really good insurance agents here that I work with. One of them unfortunately passed about 3 or 4 months ago, but I was wearing his socks just the other day. Not his personally, I didn't take them off of him, but some of his company socks. I'm kind of a sock guy. I love different odd socks, and so he had sent me some. But I've got some great. I just thought about that story whenever you said that. That's probably completely odd and weird, and threw that in there. But we've got some. We've got some people in town that are really doing some cool things outside of their insurance business. We live in a small town. We are the largest non-metropolitan. I think we're kind of considered a micropolitan area, but we got 33,000 people here. It's the epicenter of our medical, retail, that kind of thing. And so we do a lot of charity work, a lot of giving. Several of the insurance agents here spent the entire month of October doing some charity work with the community's support. So jumped in on that with them. Try to be a real good partner for all those guys because it's and I'm sure it's like this everywhere. I look at insurance and I think, man, that's a lot like what I'm doing here. You're competitive. You want the business, but at the same time, you may be, whether you're an independent agent or you are an agent that's with a company or something, you're tied to a lot of restrictions. And so sometimes I'm able to send this package to agent A because agent B can't do it, but I can send them the next thing. I've got a relationship, a real good one, with 2 or 3 agents in town, but all of them do excellent work out here.
It's so interesting looking at the two different industries because we definitely complement each other, and then you throw the lenders in there and they're somewhere in the mix also. And it seems like as we meet lenders and realtor dudes that there's a lot of similarities in, the way we think, the way we operate. We have to kind of go through that same, oh my gosh, we got to crush it to get to scale. You really have to push a lot and burn a lot of gas at the beginning. And then when you look at the funnels, it's a little bit different, right? Because you have a high win when you get that close, whereas we have these little micro commissions and we have to just do quantity, So I love to unpack the funnel and see how that looks like. Both Jason and I, we buy tons of internet leads. We push them to telemarketers. Telemarketers make dials. The dials go get transferred to our closers. And that's kind of our funnel. And we know those numbers. I'm curious how that works on the realtor side. And then at what point do you involve the insurance agent?
Sure. So kind of looking at that, almost walking it backwards, at least in our area. I don't know that this is countrywide or this may just be for me in my specific area here. But a lot of times our lenders are directing our clients to the insurance agent. So it's out of 10 contracts I may have, sometimes 1, maybe 2, am I able to kind of interject and, at least talk to this guy, see what's going on. Because a lot of people I have found don't even realize that they can shop that. I think lenders they make that happen and they go with whatever that lender told them, which is a ton of trust. But people need to know, especially listeners that may not know, you can shop that around. You can have conversations. And that doesn't mean that, and you guys probably have preached this a million times, the lowest price may not be the guy to go with. Actually, I see that oftentimes not. That sometimes you've got higher rates because they've got more boots on the ground to take care of you when something does happen, or their technology to be able to do something. You're paying for those things. You can shop that around, but it doesn't just mean, when I say shop around, I don't mean just dollars. Like what are you getting for that? Right. As far as my funnel and being able to deal with that, so that is something that I'm really just now trying to scale. It's been a one-man show for some time. I finally kind of gotten myself to where, okay, there's enough reserve in the bank, being successful. Because, when I went from working for an agent to being commissioned, there was a little bit of, oh my gosh, I've got to go. And so I went ahead and just did it all myself. I'm not the world's greatest delegator, just to confess. And so I'm learning how to do that a little bit more to where I buy leads. There's a certain amount of leads that I buy. There are obviously my sphere that I've already talked about that I deal with. I have found a little bit of a niche and relocation companies that we get a lot here. So one thing that people don't really see about Mississippi because they watch a lot of movies and they think that we don't have running water or wear shoes. We actually have a lot of industry here. We've got a Toyota manufacturer, lots of furniture factories. We are a big place for industry here, lots of different kinds. So, I mean, that sandwich that you get at the gas station that may have been there like 6 months was probably assembled not far from here. I mean, it's just lots of weird industries that we have here, and people move out of state for that. Well, they don't have an insurance agent, real estate agent. They know nothing about the area, and I've been able to kind of move myself into being their guy. Like, so, a lot of times you have to, and I don't know how this works on the insurance side, but you will get some of those companies where they get a piece of it. So they'll send me the referral, but I've got to kick them back 25% of the commission or, something like that. I try not to do as many of those, but at the same time, it's money that I really didn't have to go find that lead. I didn't have to use any advertising dollars. I didn't have to do anything. So I will work them, but they're not my favorite, but
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting because you have a lot more wiggle room for that cost per, your acquisition cost, right? If your commission's 30 grand on a house, there's a lot that can go into acquiring that new client. One of our mentors says he who can spend the most to acquire the new client wins, right? And obviously we're not in competing industries, but our acquisition cost is much lower. We need to be in that 150 range to really start making money. Whereas, if you make 30 grand, well, you have a lot of wiggle room, which is.
Well, I mean, if I made 30 grand, I could kick you 3 grand and still be all good in the hood over here. Whereas, that would bankrupt you,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'd rather not even get cash. I just want the relationship, that's the most important thing for us is just have the relationship.
Well, and that's one of the things that I decided at the first was I wanted, and you're always going to have people that are upset or you just can't make happy. But I wanted, and I tell all of them up front, I want your repeat business. When you buy this house, I want you to sell it with me, and then I want to help you buy the next one. Yeah. And so I'm going to do all I can to make sure that you're impressed on this one so that I get your repeat business going forward. And so like you're talking about on that relationship, I want that because now instead of selling one house, I've sold 3 because you bought it, then you sold it, then you bought another one, and anybody else that you sold.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll tell you, once they land on somebody, if you create that relationship, they don't want to deal with it. It's like dating or something. They don't want to have to go out and meet. Like, I can't imagine having, like, if my wife got rid of me, like having to go start over again. Like, I can't even speak. When I can't even speak the language. Like, I mean,
But yeah, I mean, how do you? And it goes to this whole conversation. We are in a town of 30,000 people. Now, granted, we cover most of North Mississippi. When you look at that now, we're not just this town, but we're still not a super heavy populated area. I mean, we are a large section of land, but not super populated. You see that with like the elections, and we've got like no electoral votes and all that kind of stuff. There's nobody that lives here, so we have like 400 real estate agents. Well, how do you pick one? And I still don't know. I just try to put myself out there. I'm a little different. Somebody likes it, somebody doesn't, whatever. And, you just go on. But I mean, yeah, trying to find somebody's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. In both ways.
Yeah, because I mean, there are real estate agents that are way better than me, and real estate agents that are way worse than me. So I mean, how do you plug into that? So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, once they like you, regardless of whether the other person is terrible or awesome, if they already have that connection, they're most likely going to stick with you because it's just a pain in the butt to start over. Right.
Yeah. And I think most of the ones who do start over, it's because their agent, no matter what field it is, just lost touch with them. Every once in a while, just say, hey, how's it going? It doesn't have to be, we spend a lot of money on gifts or mailers and that kind of thing. And I found that's just pretty helpful to shoot a text. Hey, is everything going okay? Let me know if you need me. It'll be done. So then I'm still your guy and I hadn't forgotten.
I mean, Ricky, in 2021, it's almost like you're intentionally not trying to stay in touch if you don't, because there's so many ways to automate that and make it personal, and at least to shoot the text out and then they respond. Now you can say something, right? But there's so many ways to stay in touch. So love that.
After you close a deal, one of the systems I have in place is I just sit down at my computer. I put 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and a year in the calendar, shoot out a text. How's it going? Just checking on you, making sure everything's going good. If I have the buyer side to send out a letter at the end of the year, I've got a whole file over here of like 60 letters that they're already stamped, they're addressed on December 31st. I will drop them in the mail that says, don't forget to homestead. And that'll just be another touch. Now that only goes to people from this year, but that's all those people that I will touch in one go.
It's true. That's a huge lesson. I mean, I think in any business the hardest part is the front end, gaining someone as a client. The easiest part would be, a few touch points a year, maybe even at least one, and continue the relationship. That is easy. But a lot of times we don't do that. And then that's when we do lose a good client.
Yeah.
I love that. What would your number one piece of advice be for any insurance agents that want to connect with a realtor, that wants to build that connection so that, you could refer business back and forth?
For me, the people that I find it easiest to refer to are just the ones that I talk to on a regular basis. They don't have anything. They don't necessarily have anything more special. They don't have any. I don't really choose one over the other because of any programs. That I let that be between the client and the agent. But it's just the ones that intentionally make sure that they touch me. The same thing that I'm talking about touching clients and these are the guys that are intentionally saying, hey, don't forget I'm out here. And that doesn't have to be a huge time commitment or, I'm not saying take me out to lunch. I don't mean that, but just shooting text sometimes matters, because what that does is it keeps you front of mind. I now can, whenever someone asks me for it, because with a real estate agent, or at least, we talked about, I'm not always the number one point of contact in my area. Sometimes I'm just popping up that last name that I thought about. Now, I'm not giving you just any old name. I'm giving you someone that's tried and true and that I know what you're doing out there. But that makes it so much easier whenever I've got a relationship with the person where I can say, man, I can vouch that this guy's going to do you right. He's going to tell you, he's going to give you the whole story. And we both know that the whole story may not always be pretty. It may not, that it may be expensive. What you want may be expensive. What you want, maybe you can't get it. I mean, that's just the truth of it. I run into that sometimes where you want $1 million house, but you're on a $150,000 budget. So, that's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Those people who make it an intentional relationship, those are the easiest to refer because I just know who you are.
That's it.
Love it. Well, Ricky, you have a podcast, right?
For you.
I was saying you have a podcast, right?
No, actually, I don't. I have played and toyed with that idea, but actually, I don't.
Oh, I thought you did. Cool. Well, if people want to get a hold of you,
honest,
I think you should do it.
You may well. That's one of the things that I was going to ask is. I'm not real sure how you guys even got in touch with me. I'm super glad that you did, and I'm enjoying the conversation. But it was like, I don't know how you found me, and you may have been trying to reach another realtor, Ricky, but he sucks, and I'm great. So
that's right.
You made the right choice. I have no idea, but I'm super stoked. Now, I've done some podcast appearances and talks and that kind of thing, but yeah, I have no idea.
No, you were listed on I think it's Red X. Is that Red X? Is the realty thing?
I've done some Red X.
I've
done some Red X with those guys.
Yeah, our assistant went through she said, hey, I found this list. And I said, yeah, they all look awesome, especially the Ricky guy. Get Ricky.
Yeah. Hey, so man, you are wild.
We nailed it. Well, and it's important because there is this crossover, right? And I think that we can be so focused in our little industry here when there's a big ecosystem of the lender, the realtor, and the agent. And I think that we can help people build out those trusted advisor relationships between all of us, right? And really create value when there's that synergy.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you're talking about. We all work with each other. We are referral partners for each other, and one can't do it without the other. And there's probably someone listening thinking, this guy's really full of himself. I'm making jokes, guys. I'm really not. But to your point, people don't realize how many moving parts go into buying and selling a home. And so that is where the value of a real estate agent really comes in. Buying is no problem, but sellers are really hesitant sometimes because they don't want to give up that commission money. I can do it myself. But they don't realize, well, now you're going to be coordinating a home inspector, insurance issues, appraisals, attorneys, all these different things. And then what if you find out something? What if you thought you had 2.5 acres and you really have 2.1, and because of a deed issue 100 years ago that has nothing to do with you? Now what do you do? Those kind of things. So it is, we all work in tandem with each other, for sure.
Love it.
Yep. Awesome, Ricky.
So I know you guys are the ones interviewing me, but what is something that you wish real estate agents understood about you?
Wow. That's a great question.
Yeah, I would turn the table on you or anything, but
Well, this is what I do know. Insurance agents need referral partners. Somehow, in some way, you need those quick sales that we know that you guys have the relationship with your client. And a lot of the times we can get you the quote that you need on the fly or whatever to help you close that deal. But another thing that can solidify both of your relationships that a lot of great insurance dudes will do out there is send stuff to your clients on behalf of you. So like if you close the deal, you can send some sort of housewarming gift or something in conjunction with your insurance agent and probably get your insurance agent to pay for it rather than you. Because I know a lot of times realtors have some gaps between sales or whatever. So I think that there is a good value that insurance agents could give their local realtors to help them look better in front of their clients.
That's awesome.
That's it.
It's good stuff. And it's just a curious question. You may even cut it. I don't know.
No, we don't cut.
That's the best way.
Yeah, I just go.
No, it's all good.
So, well, awesome. If anybody wants to find you, how can they find you?
So you can go to Facebook is probably the easiest way. I think that's probably most everybody. So I just told you I'm not boastful, but my Facebook is facebook.com/the Ricky Murphy.
Oh,
not even Ricky Murphy.
The
Murphy. You can check out stuff there and my phone number. I mean, that number is not fake and it's not to an office. I mean, I put it out there. It comes to me. So shoot me an email, send me a text, give me a call.
You are brave.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
I thought about a business line before, but I don't want something else ringing at me. I've got. Yeah. I even refuse to put my watch on my phone because I don't want it ringing at me. I'm sick of that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it, but I'm sick of it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Ricky, the Ricky Murphy, thank you so much. Awesome to have you on here, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, I appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thanks.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's
Okay.
520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.